Welcome, everybody, to the live. I am Captain Matt with Boater's Secret Weapon, Boat Buyer's Secret Weapon, author of the book, Boat Buyer's Secret Weapon. Some technical difficulties. Sorry, we're running a little bit late. And I got a new webcam, so I can just have my regular setup. If you weren't here yesterday, you know that, well, you'll notice I'm on a treadmill. This is a new exercise / live Q&A session that I'm going to be doing most every weekday, probably at 2-3 o'clock for my time, and just an opportunity to answer any questions that you have about buying a boat, the boat market, boat ownership, boat operation. If you don't follow the channel, we've got I think it's 600 videos at this point that we share how to buy a boat, how to inspect a boat, boat reviews, boating etiquette, how to operate a boat. We've got training programs. If you struggle docking your boat, trailering your boat, we've got training programs to help you do that. They're all guaranteed. Tons of 5-star reviews out there. And so this is just your chance to really ask me anything you want. If I've got some valuable information for you, I'll share it. If I have a resource for you, I'll share it. If I'm not the right person to answer the question, I will kind of look into my Rolodex of people that I know and answer those questions and direct you to them, give you my take if I have one, or just point you in a direction that maybe they've got more expertise in that area than I do. So this is, for whatever reason, my new webcam, I guess, didn't install properly, so I got to figure that out. But so just throw your question in the chat. If you would introduce yourself, let me know where you're watching from, and if the audio's good, if everything's looking good, as I get this new setup dialed in, that would be great. As far as, let's see here. I don't think I'm going to try to mess with changing the camera at this point, but let's talk about what's happened in the boating world right now. If you're curious of what's going on in the industry, I just stumbled across this. Boating Magazine does a podcast that it's, usually it's not too interesting for the general public, but they just did a podcast with let's see if I can put this up here so I can see it both. Did an interview with the head of North Point Commercial Finance, one of the few there's probably 3 major players in the commercial floor plan space in the marine industry. So Wells Fargo has been in and out of the marine space. North Point has become a leader in the space right now. I can see this really wiggles when I've got it set up on my laptop camera, so I'm going to need to get that fixed. But I've got a new camera there that should be stable. But anyway, he did a, let's see, Boating Magazine podcast with, let's see if I can, not Boating Magazine, Boating Industry Magazine. That's right. And Dave G is the, there we go. Not that one. The Boating Industry Insiders podcast is the one I'm getting here, and let's go ahead and share this entire screen. There we go. And let's go back. All right, so the Boating Insider podcast and oh, it's not even. I don't know how I came across it. It's not even up on the. It's not even up on their website yet. Maybe I'm on an early distribution list or something like that. But anyway, go to the Boating Industry Insider podcast, and there is a new episode that is coming out. One of the advantages of having the industry contacts and being on some of the lists is sometimes I get easier access to or early access to some of the information. So again, if you're new here, just go ahead and put your comment, question in the chat, and I will answer your questions there. But anyway, I just started listening to it, and if you've seen my I can't believe that's not up there. But anyway, if you where else would I? Yeah, I mean, it should be the first place it goes is on their website. But anyway, if you've seen my market updates, it's very similar to that, but with the guy that like he's watching the floor plan dealers all across North America, U.S., Canada. I think they're in Canada. Yeah, they are because they're out of Canada. But and I know one of the reps up in Canada. So anyway, he's got a real behind the scenes look at what's going on with the inventory, what dealers are doing with their pricing. Talked with a guy today that was looking at a used Cobalt, and one fell through last week. Gave him an email today. He took advantage of my one-on-one consulting where I get on a Zoom, talk through, and then help through the buying process. That with is this a good boat? What to look for? Questions to ask. Kind of just an advocate on your side. And one of the things we were talking about was his offer strategy on this new 25 that he found. And it was, hey, listen, it's the end of October. Be aggressive. This happened to be a brokerage boat. So it's one individual that, you don't know what their situation is. Be aggressive on the offers right now because you never know what they're going to take. And if they've got somebody that's interested, as long as you're not so far out of left field and ridiculous, you're going to be okay and start that conversation. So that's exactly the advice I gave him, and gave him some numbers on, hey, this is maybe where you should start to look. Get you a pretty picture up there. Be aggressive in the offers, but not offensive is really the way I look at it. So again, if you're just joining, if you got questions, a topic that you would like me to talk about, to cover, go ahead and just put that in the chat. Introduce yourself. Let me know where you're dialing in from. I was doing these lives. I did them for probably about 2 years, a couple of years ago, and my life got so busy, and I just didn't have time to keep up with them as my daughters got more into activities in the evening. Just didn't work for my schedule. But now we're going to get back on track with them in this new format. I'm going to adjust the camera. It's right here. It's just not, for whatever reason, connecting on this software that I'm using to stream out. But anyway, this wiggle will be fixed. And this will be the format where it's just, hey, let's talk about whatever's on y'all's mind. What kind of questions do you have? A lot of people will pay for consulting with me to really dive deep into helping them in their boat buying journey. From, hey, what type of boat's right for us? We're brand new to it, to I just need somebody on my side to ask questions to that's not trying to sell me anything, to I got the boat picked out. It's exactly what I want. How should I go about negotiating, and everything in between? So that you can check out on my website, one-on-one consulting. But this is going to be very similar to that. It's just, hey, jump on, put your question in the chat, and I'll probably continue to ask questions to give personal advice. one thing about the boating industry is when you're looking to buy a boat or in boating, specifics of your situation matter tremendously. Whether it's operating a boat, whether you're in saltwater, freshwater, whether you're buying a boat, what your budget looks like, where you're going to be using it, how you're going to be using it. All of those things are very important to not just give you generic advice that you get from ChatGPT, but actually getting customized advice from somebody that's got 40 years, 45 years of boating experience from when I was a little kid, selling boats, being in the industry contacts, and you can tap into that to help you make the best decision. And I'm going to be walking, getting some exercise, getting down from, man, I got up to 240 pounds. I'm 6'2". I got up to 240, and I was like, that's ridiculous. I'm usually float around 220, and so we're going to try to get down to 200 in the next 6 months or so, and do some lives, answer some questions for you, see what we can help out with. So let's see, what should we talk about? What should we talk about while we're waiting for any questions to come rolling in? Let's go to, I did the kind of the industry update. Let's do this. Let's look at some. Let's do BoatTrader.com. So this is a video I've been wanting to do for a while, and it's what to look for when you're looking at buying a boat. So I'm just going to say, let's just search a boat. We're going to find something used, and we're going to look at, let's look at something 10 years old or so. Let's find something that is used year. Hey, Ray, how you doing? All right, let's do something that's let's do something in this age range, 2016. All right, let's look at this. Let's look at this Bennington pontoon. All right, so if we look at this Bennington, when you're searching for boats, and I know the guys over at Captain's Choice, they're a good dealer, kind of in my area. They're not too far away. I see them down at the boat show every year in Columbia when I go. But so a couple of things that I look at. First is just kind of the basics of it. 2013 with 110 engine hours, and then you'll look at kind of the general description. Most of them do a terrible job writing the description. I don't know why. They don't put a lot of detail. Let's see how. Yeah, this one's got pretty good. Looks like they're using ChatGPT to write their description, would be my guess with that format. But what I'm really liking, what I really do is I look at the pictures, okay? So I look at the images and say, all right, let's look for areas that are concerning to me. So as I'm looking for damage, along, and I'm looking for water lines on a pontoon. You kind of looking where the water line is. Looks like they just cleaned these tunes up, which is good. Nice clean boat, it looks like. You can see that dent right there. My concern is that weld leaking, or is that weld gonna leak in the future? Maybe a major problem, may not be an issue at all. Kind of depends, but something I'm definitely gonna make sure that if I do a sea trial, I'm gonna sink that back end until that weld is underwater. I'm gonna put enough weight on there until that weld's underwater. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just let it sit for a while, see if I see any bubbles, and then when I pull it out, I'm gonna shake that boat around. If it's on a trailer, if it's on some way or another to get that water moving. See if I can hear any sloshing, indicating that there's water getting into the tunes, indicating there's a leak, and that's something I want to be aware of before I buy the boat. Okay. That looks all good. I'm also looking at the lower unit. I'm looking for corrosion. I'm looking for damage. Maybe I'll zoom in on a picture. If there's like this right here, I can't really tell what that little spot is, but I would zoom in on that and see, is that corrosion? Is it damage? It's on the leading edge of the bullet. So maybe there's something going on there. I'm gonna dig into that a little bit. Looks like that dent didn't come through on the back piece of the tube. It's got the elliptical tube, which I know is their, not performance tube, but it gives it a different turning capabilities. Yeah, you can see that dent is right on that weld right there. That is not a great spot to have a dent, because that's going to weaken that weld. Now, is it a walk away? No, but it's a red flag. It's something I want to be cautious about. It's something I'm going to take into account when I make an offer on this boat for sure. And then I'm looking at the seating. I'm really looking for mold and mildew and tears at this point. Again, if you've got questions, this is just kind of a general topic that anybody can use. But if you got questions, throw them in the chat. We got Ray. Ray was a long time viewer on the lives when I was more consistent with them back a couple years ago. And so there's, most of the pictures are going to be not super tight on things. So you kind of have to just look around, and you're looking for any imperfections that that might show up, just to see kind of what's going on. See a little bit of wear on that armrest, nothing too concerning. Looking for rust. You can see like right up in this compartment here, you can see that's all dirty and nasty. Okay, what's going on with that? Here's my opinion. If a boat is dirty and nasty in the pictures that they're using to try to sell it, is that an indication of how well they took care of it? A red flag, not a walk away, but all right, let's slow down and let's make sure that that everything is as it needs to be. 116 hours. Hey, I'm okay with that. It's a 2013 boat, so that's 11 years old. That's really, really light on the hours. So what I would do is I would ask Captain's Choice, hey, can you give me the printout from the ECM, the electronic control module, basically the computer of the engine? Can you give me the printout of codes of printout of the codes? It also does a printout of the RPM range. So different bands, I think it's like 500 RPMs or 1,000 RPMs. They'll give you the hours run in each band, so I can see of that 116.2 hours, how much was in the idle range, how much was in the mid range, how much was in upper mid range, how much was that wide open throttle range, and just to get an idea of how that boat was run. Ryan, yeah, 10% is usually the minimum down payment required for a loan. Because of our direct model, like I said yesterday, we're doing 25% right now to lock in the deposit, because we're doing custom builds, and so that 25% allows us to get started. If you want to talk more about it, shoot me an email and we'll jump on a call. I'll talk you through it. But right now, that's where we're at on the Kaimas. The 10% is the lender requirement. But again, we'll talk more about, because our model is a little bit different, and as we are getting started up here. So as we continue to look at the upholstery, you you really got to look at the details, especially as you get into some older boats, is you never know where you're going to find a major impact. Like right there, I can't tell if that's the cutout for the windshield or if that is a dent or something right there on the helm. It could be the windshield cutout for the windshield to set in, but I can't really tell for sure. But again, as you're going into it, not a ton of pictures on this boat. Not a ton of pictures, but that's sort of what I walk through. I'm looking at the engine hours and I'm really looking at the pictures. The description, more and more dealers are using AI to write their description, which is fine, but it's not very valuable. It doesn't give you anything about the condition of the boat. It's basically a big sales pitch. Sleek design and impressive features that pontoon boats ready to deliver countless memorable days on lake, river, or bay. That's clearly AI written, but there's no real value in there. It's not giving you the options on the boat. It's not super valuable, but it makes them feel good that they're writing a bunch. It is the engine's a 2012, so it's a year older than what the boat is, which is common. I'm not concerned about that at all. But those are some of the things that I look at when I'm going through a boat. Just really dive into the detail. Really dive into the detail of the images. All right, so let's go. We'll pick another one here. There was an older Cobalt, it looked like. Yeah, this 2012 232 Cobalt and Hickory freshwater boat. Actually, you know what? Let's do a saltwater boat and see what they have to say. And again, if you've got questions, just go ahead and throw them in the chat. We're going to do Florida. Okay. We're going to do that same thing. So now in saltwater, it's even. All right, so let's take a look at what would be a good boat. Who am I working with that's searching for something in this category? Let's look at this Hydrosport. 100 grand for a Hydrosport. They just dropped the price, 8 grand. So again, pricing right now, a lot of buyers are saying, hey, I've heard that this boat should sell for this much, or a lot of people I know sold their boat for what they bought it for. And they just have this unrealistic expectation of what they think they should get. Now, sometimes they can be quickly get put back in line. A lot of buyers are of the mindset that, oh, listen, it's a buyer's market. I shouldn't have to pay anywhere near retail for this boat. Well, it's not that bad, especially on used boats, but both sides are a little bit too far on the extreme. And part of why boats aren't selling right now is I think the fair market value is somewhere in the middle, where the sellers want to be, where the buyers think they should be, and which is fine. The buyers don't have to buy the boat. The sellers, if they want to sell, that's where they're going to have to find that match. But I just think right now they're both a little bit too extreme. People that really want to buy boats are not, because they're trying to save an extra 3 or 4 grand. Okay, that 3 or 4 grand is nice, but would you rather have a boat or not have a boat? And so it's just kind of dependent. So again, looking at the saltwater fishing boat, one head, offers encouraged. This right there is my advice to everybody looking to buy a boat right now. New, used, doesn't matter. Make an offer. I was up in Knoxville as Ryan was asking about the Kaima which is a boat manufacturer that I've invested in and have an ownership stake in. And so their facility is up in Knoxville. We don't have any inventory, so we're in the fortunate position where we're building custom boats to order, which means that, you know, you got to wait a period of time. I think we're into the spring now on the builds. We've got to wait a period of time. Other challenges there for the buyers, but we're not sitting like Yamaha. I drove by the Yamaha facility is right by where I put the boat in when I'm doing my videos on it. And they had a field of boats shrink wrapped, 2025s, because I was out there in July, and just a huge number of boats built with nowhere to go. Sea Ray, same thing. Mastercraft, same thing. They're all right there, kind of bundled up, and a lot of boats built, a lot of boats sitting, dealership floor rooms, but also dealership showrooms, but also manufacturers' lots, just waiting for somebody to order or for it to be shipped out. What they don't want to do is they don't want to have all these boats sitting on the dealer's lot all wrapped up when they've got a 24 or a 25. They want to kind of keep those boats in the background, so when you as a buyer walk in, you don't see this sea of wrapped boats that are 2025s and say, oh, or 26s, let me look at the 26. They want to sell the 2024s and 2025s first. So a lot of times they keep them at the factory until they're ready for them to come, usually springtime, boat show time, when they want them. So there's all these boats in the market, and if you're serious about buying, just start the conversation. Whether it's a broker, whether it's a private seller, whether it's a dealer, start the conversation and see where you can get to. You don't have to buy the boat. You don't have to say yes. You don't have to write the check, but you get a sense for where they're really wanting to be. So this guy offers encourage. This guy is just dropped at $8,000. But I guarantee 92 isn't his bottom dollar. He would take something in the 80s, almost guaranteed. So if I was to make an offer on this boat without doing any other research, I don't know what Hydrosports is selling for. What are the hours on this? 1,400 hours. So those engines are going to need a repower. So that's three 250 Yamaha repowers that need to be there. That's 30 grand, 90 grand of engines that need to be repowered in the next couple of years. Well, what year are the engines? Let's see if we can, especially if they're 07s. Yeah, the engines are 07s. Those babies are what, 14, 15 years old with 1,400 hours. You know, that's boat's going to need to get repowered in the next 3 to 5 years. It's going to be 100 grand. Let's take that into account, no matter how good they run now. So when I'm making this offer, hey, I might even offer high 70s, but I'm going to be aggressive but not offensive. It's sort of the stance I like to take, and just see where the conversation goes. If they say nope, we're 92 is our bottom line, okay, now you know, now you can make a decision. If they say, well, we can't do 77, that's crazy. We're listed at 92 and we just dropped it $8,000. Okay, well, 92 is out of the question with 1,700 or 1,400 hours on 07 engines. It just doesn't make sense for me. You know, it doesn't. And I would go to JD Powers, and I would do a little bit more digging on values and build the boat out a little bit. There's not many 33 Hydrosports on the market, so NADA is going to be, or JD Powers is going to be a guide, but not written in stone. So then I'm going through the boat. All right, what do we have going on? Looks to be at bottom paint. When was the bottom paint done last? Because I'm probably gonna have to bottom paint it unless I'm got a lift. Maybe I'm trailering that boat, but probably on a lift or a trailer, or I'm sorry, a lift or a marina. A lot of aerial shots, but not really much detail other than even this, you can't really tell the layout. It's all washed out. Okay, it's got these throttles for twin engines. This one is in gear, out of gear. This one's the throttle. You can see it's got the trim button on it. But this throttle setup, well, it's different. My brother's got that throttle set up on his boat. I can drive pretty much any boat out there under 50 feet, and my brother's is 36, and it just takes me a second to get my mind right that, okay, these throttles are different. I've got forward, reverse on these controls, and then this is all my throttle. So I can be reverse and throttle forward to speed up in reverse. It's a different way to drive. Performance, there's more performance boats set up like this. So I don't see a joystick anywhere. Something that could be upgraded probably if you wanted to. Electronics, that's a pretty small Garmin. I can't really tell the size. Do you need to upgrade the electronics? That's going to be a significant investment. I did a video on that not too long ago. Fusion stereo. Yeah. These pictures aren't great to really tell what you're dealing with. A little bit dirty on the floor. Upholstery looks to be okay. Nothing really concerning there. Kings in the City, good to have you. Okay. You can see those. They're pretty thin, snap in, which is nice. You got a little bit of comfort. You got the family out with you. That's nice. They show the broken speaker. I appreciate when I see a listing that has flaws shown, I'm a lot more trusting of kind of the overall listing. If everything's perfect on an 07 boat with 1,400 hours on it, like it's just not, that's not the reality of boating. When they show the scuffs, they show the flaws, they show the rips, they show the mold and mildew. Now I'm much more, oh, okay, this is somebody that I can trust a little bit more. Trust but verify, as Ronald Reagan would say. Can't tell if that's mold and mildew or just shadows on there. But again, if you notice what I'm doing, I'm sort of looking for irregularities. I'm looking for things that could be problematic that maybe I don't want to spend the time to go down to Miami and check this boat out. If it's 20 minutes away, fine. If it's 2 hours away, 5 hours away, well, I'm going to be a little bit more selective, ask for more recent pictures, ask for, hey, I saw that on the seat that looked like mold and mildew. Can you take me a better picture of that and show me exactly what I'm dealing with? Take me a video and send it to me. Rigging looks pretty clean. Floor looks good. Bait well. Like there's some cracks on there. Maybe it's the water up to the guard there, but not too bad for the bilge. It looks like just dirt. You would think they would have washed that out, but transducer looks okay. Doesn't look like got a little bit of rust coming off this pump here. Not too concerned about that. A little bit of rust on that through hull fitting for the bilge. Nothing a major concern in there. Looks pretty good. The head, again, dirty, but nothing too serious. So overall, this looks like a really nice boat, but good number of hours, 1,400. They're 15-year-old engines. Is that right? No, 18-year-old engines. So again, 18 years old in saltwater with 1,400 hours. That baby's going to need to be repowered at some point in the next couple of years. So those are the type. That's kind of how I'm going through. I'm just looking. This is good. They've actually got the equipment. So what were the Garmin? It doesn't say what. I'm guessing those are older Garmins as well. So you know what kind of spot lock. Oh, Spotlight with remote. I thought that said spot lock. So probably going to need to put some, if you're serious about fishing, put some updated electronics in there. From the looks of it, it's hard to say. The technology behind the scenes and the electronics is what matters. The screens don't change significantly as long as it's not crazy old. But you've got some room on there to put 2 big screens if you want. So anyway, that's what I'm looking at when I'm looking at used boats and how I'm going through. Just really take your time on the photos, and that's what I help customers with, especially people that they've really got dialed into the type of boat that they want, and they may have to travel a little bit for it. My expertise, and here's questions to ask before you jump on a plane, before you drive 4 hours, can save them some time, and then the negotiation strategy. So you can check that out. Again, this is sponsored by the Boat Loan Match program. If you're looking to finance a portion of your boat purchase, what I've done is I've put together a group of lenders, and then you tell me about your situation. I say, hey, this is the best lender for your situation based on the type of boat, your credit profile, the down payment you're looking to make, your geographic location. All of these things can really matter between getting a lender that does an okay job and a lender that's got the best rates available. So in addition to that, to kind of in ethical bribe, if you will, if you go ahead and go to the Boat Loan Match program and you use the lender, I'm going to give you access to my Boat Buyers Academy and my Magic Money Saving Method. So how to buy the boat, make sure you get the right boat, the right price, and the Magic Money Saving Method, how to negotiate the best deal, private seller, broker, dealer, and people that have used those strategies. I get emails all the time. Hey, we saved an extra $2,500 because of that. So I'm giving it to you for free just to use one of the lenders that I'm going to match you with, because I do get a small referral fee. It's one of the ways I'm able to keep this going, and would appreciate you using that if you got value from the channel, from these lives, from the information we offer here and what we do. And we're going to give you a little bonus to say thanks for supporting us. So anyway, that's 45 minutes of walking, 45 minutes of talking, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Take care, everybody.